I was born in a town called Bombay, far away in India, 10,000 miles from here. And my early memories are being a young kid of 5 when my mother passed away. One of the first miracles happened to me when I was 6. I was adopted by a friend of the family. Alfie was born an aristocrat. And when he adopted me, he was a pauper. And it took a man with guts to bring a young boy into his home when he couldn't even provide for himself. Alfie took me over to where he lived, and when I look back, the memories of where he lived in the slums. No running water, no electricity, and the nights were something we all dreaded. We had to fan ourselves to sleep, and the bed bugs got us every night, try as we did. Anyway, ignorance was bliss, and I was brought up, and Alfie started teaching me what life was all about. When I was 11, Alfie said to me, I can't afford to send you to school anymore. We'll have to find you a job. And I went along with it. Ignorance is bliss, as I said. And he said, let's teach you shorthand and typing. So I became a stenographer when I was 12. My memories then are also of a very lonely life. When I was brought up by Alfie, we had no friends. And it got to be so lonely, I used to adopt stray dogs from the streets and talk restaurant owners into giving me a cookie to feed the dogs, and the dogs loved me. After Alfie died, all his teaching surfaced. Ambition, plan ahead. Then my Anglo-Indian genes surfaced along with my ambition. And it's hard to describe it, but suddenly, I'm an Anglo-Indian. I want to travel. I want to see the world. In 1940, the American movies influencing my life, I started dreaming. I wanted to get to America someday. I started saving in 1940, 41, 42. Right through 47, I'm saving. And suddenly, I read a newspaper headlines one day. America passes a quota of 100 immigrants allowed from India. What would have happened if I had found out in 1941, hey, you can't go to America, there's no quota? I would have stopped saving. My ambition would have died along the way. So that's another miracle that happened to me. I ran to the American embassy. I said, I want to register. Now, a quota of 100 with a population of 100 million people. It was just a token gesture. I registered in 1947, and by then I'd saved what I thought was a lot of money, $2,000. And they said, gee, do you have a sponsor in America? I said, no. They said, well, you'll have to save up some more money. Things went along, and I was getting nowhere. Eventually, a young man came up and saw the enthusiasm I had for getting to America, and he gave me an idea. He said, George, why don't you go to some of these manufacturers of handicrafts and have them appoint you as your sales rep? Brilliant. Within 48 hours, I had 6 people lined up. George Peters as our rep. Got on a ship, headed for my dream country, America. But I was all alone in New York City without a friend. That's a feeling I wouldn't want anyone to have. My first Sunday, I landed up at Marble Collegiate Church. After church, I guess I had a look of bewilderment on me, and a stranger came up to me, and he said, would you like to have dinner with me? I said, yeah, sure. He was a Jewish person called Sidney Rosenthal. I'm enthralled. I have a friend. Sidney got me my first job the next week as a stenographer. Typing and shorthand has helped me all my life. The next year, I met Dorothy, fell in love with her. We got married. A gorgeous, gorgeous redhead from West Virginia. And we clicked. We were compatible in everything. So Dorothy and I decided to go to India in 1953. Now, when we were there 4 months, we lined up real Indian manufacturers of handicrafts to appoint us as the real sales rep and gave us a lot of samples to take back to America. And that's how our little business started. We started selling handicrafts from India at flea markets. And you were able to rent a table for $5 a night. Easy way to start a business. We are in America. Opportunities everywhere, knocking if you're looking. From the flea markets, Dorothy started going to state fairs, county fairs. From small county fairs, she started going to big state fairs. We eventually opened a shop in Atlantic City, on the boardwalk at Atlantic City. And that's where we were discovered. At that time, enclosed shopping malls were just being born. Dorothy calls me up and says, there are 3 people here, they want us to become tenants at an enclosed mall. I said, wonderful. We became a tenant at Cherry Hill Mall. We went from 1 shop to 2 shops to 21 shops, started making money. That American dream really came true for us.